All right, let's dive into what might be one of the easiest and most satisfying topics in all of algebra, writing linear equations. And you want to know the best part? It's really not about complicated math. It's just about knowing where to put the numbers the problem literally hands to you. So let's get right to it. You know, this quote really hits the nail on the head because it's so true for what we're doing today. We are not going to be doing a bunch of heavy calculations. This is more like a simple puzzle where the problem itself gives you all the pieces you need to solve it. So how do we actually solve this puzzle? Well, it all comes down to one single magic formula. And seriously, don't even think of it as a formula. Think of it as a recipe, a super simple fill-in-the-blanks template. It's the only tool we're going to need. And here it is, the star of the show. Y equals mx plus b. Now, yeah, it has a fancy official name, the slope-intercept form, but we're just going to keep calling it our recipe. And as you can see, our job is incredibly simple. We just have to find the two numbers that go into the m slot and the b slot. That's it.
Okay, so if this is our recipe, we should probably get to know our ingredients, right? There are only two we have to worry about. So what exactly are m and b? Let's break them down.
This right here is probably the best memory trick you're going to find. So m stands for the slope. The easiest way to remember it is m is for move. It's your rate. It tells you how steep the line is moving. Then you have b, which is the y-intercept. Just think b is for begin. It's your flat starting point on the graph. Just lock it in. M is for move, b is for begin. Okay, enough talk. We've got our recipe, we know our ingredients. Let's actually put this into practice. We're going to run through 3 really quick examples, and you'll see just how easy this is when we follow the recipe step by step. So, here's our first problem. A total classic. The problem just comes right out and tells you. The slope is 2, and the y-intercept is 5. I mean, come on, it gives us everything we need right up front. So what do? It's just 2 steps. First, we identify our ingredients. Our m, our move, is 2. Our b, where we begin, is 5. Simple enough. Step 2, we literally just plug them into the recipe. That gives us y equals 2x plus 5. And that's it. That is the final answer. Y equals 2x plus 5. There was no heavy lifting, no complex math. We just put the numbers where they belong. And just like that, we've written our first linear equation. See? Easy. All right, ready for a tiny little curveball? Let's see what happens if our ingredients are negative numbers. So for this one, let's say the slope is -3 and the y-intercept is -1. Don't worry, the recipe does not change at all. We do the exact same thing. We start by plugging the numbers straight into the formula. We get y equals -3x plus -1. Now this looks a little messy, right? So we just need to clean it up. Remember, adding a negative number is really just subtracting. So that plus -1 at the end simplifies to just -1. And there we go. Our final cleaned up answer is y equals -3x minus 1. So the recipe works the exact same way with negative numbers. We just have to do a little tidying up at the end. Okay, for our last example, let's look at 2 special cases that you're gonna see all the time. What happens when your slope is 1 or when your y-intercept is 0? So first things first, we follow the recipe. We plug in the numbers, which gives us y equals 1x plus 0. Now, that's technically correct, but in math, we like to be efficient. We don't usually write 1x because, well, x means the same thing. And we definitely don't write plus 0 because adding nothing doesn't change anything. So we simplify. So after we clean it all up, the entire equation just becomes y equals x. It might look really different from the other ones, but believe it or not, it was made with the exact same recipe. Now, even with the simplest recipe, things can sometimes go a little wrong in the kitchen. So let's look at the 2 most common mishaps people run into so you'll know exactly how to avoid them. Okay, by far the biggest mistake is accidentally forgetting the x. It's so easy to do. You're plugging in your numbers and you just write y equals 2 plus 5. But hold on. That just simplifies to y equals 7, and y equals 7 isn't a sloped line. It's a completely flat, horizontal line. You've lost the move part completely. So here is the key takeaway, the one thing you have to remember. The slope, our m value, is a rate. It always needs that x right next to it to show that it's changing. The x is its partner. It's what gives the line its tilt, so don't ever forget it.
The second common mistake is just as simple, mixing up the ingredients. Putting the slope where the y-intercept goes and vice versa. It's like putting salt in your coffee instead of sugar.
And this is exactly why our little memory trick is so helpful. Just keep saying it to yourself. M is for move. That's the rate, and it always gets the X. B is for begin. That's the flat starting fee, and it just stands by itself.
So we've got the recipe down, and we know how to avoid the common mistakes. But you might be thinking, why does any of this matter outside of my math class? Well, let's look at a real-world example that shows just how useful this little recipe actually is.
Think about the last time you ordered an Uber or a taxi. There's almost always a flat booking fee just to get started, right? Let's say it's $5. That's your B. That's where you begin. Then you're charged a certain amount for every mile you travel. That's your rate of change, your M, your move. Say $2 a mile. The equation to predict your total fare is right there. The cost is $2 times the number of miles plus that initial $5 fee. It's just Y equals MX plus B in disguise.
So that kind of brings us to a final thought. Now that you know this recipe, a starting fee and a rate of change, where else do you see it in your everyday life? Think about a cell phone plan with a monthly fee plus a charge for data, or a plumber who charges a service fee just to show up, plus an hourly rate. Once you start looking, you'll see this simple formula is the blueprint for how tons of things work all around us.